Welcome to CRNFC grounds at the beginning of another schools rugby season. Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025. D.S Senanayake College taking on Dharmaraja College in one of the two games which will kick off the season officially. One game taking place at the Royal Complex between Wesley College and St. Joseph's College, and here at the CRNFC grounds it's Dharmaraja taking on D.S Senanayake. This year the format is a bit different. Usually we see the quarterfinals first and then the semis and the finals, but we do have an extra round this time around with the pre-quarterfinals coming in because there are 18 teams in the top division this year, and the 16 teams that played in the top division last year, they are competing for the President's Trophy. And to take you through this encounter, joining with me is Abid Jamil. Good afternoon, Abid.
Good afternoon, Laxisi, and good afternoon to all our viewers. I'm pretty sure you're as excited as I am to be here in the commentary box for a start of another schools rugby season. Like Laxisi mentioned, it's the pre-quarterfinals. And also, another thing to note, Laxisi, is that this year we're playing the knockouts first and not the league. So another change in the format. We'll have a look at the weather forecast here. It's a bit humid here at the CRNFC ground. A lot of cloud cover on top of us, on top of the ground. 31 Celsius is what the weather forecast reads, and it's a bit windy as well, and that will come into play with both these teams known for their backline play and their kicking abilities.
When we talk about these two teams, Abid, Dharmaraja College, they missed out playing the knockouts in the last 2 years. In 2022, they played the quarterfinals against Isipadana. They were beaten comprehensively, and D.S Senanayake last year in that quarterfinal against Wesley College, it was 27 points to 20. So just 7 points separating the two sides in that game, and D.S Senanayake unfortunately were unable to qualify for the semi-final. So both the teams are trying to race a win in the knockouts arena in the very first game of the season here.
Well, D.S Senanayake had a pretty good season last year, Laxisi. They finished in 4th place in their group, but they were unfortunate to miss out on a super round spot because of not having enough of bonus points in the bag. But another thing interesting, Laxis, is that these two teams met in the season opener last year as well. So it was DS Dharmaraja that played their first games against each other, and again this year they're playing their first games against each other, and I'm pretty sure they'll want to start the season off with a bang.
Senanayake College, after getting that promotion, they have been really good in the top division in 2023. In 2024, did manage to push most of the top teams to the absolute limits, almost qualified for the super rounds in both the last 2 years, but unfortunately they were unable to do it. But this time around they'll be really hoping to start it off well here in this encounter. Now the two fixtures, as I mentioned, Wesley College taking on St. Joseph's College at the Royal Complex, and this one, Dharmaraja taking on D.S Senanayake. Both the encounters the first two games of the year 2025 when it comes to schools rugby.
Well, if you're a rugby lover, the next couple of months is going to be an absolute treat for you. You're going to have weekends full of rugby.
So these are the past and winners. Isipadana College winning the trophy last year, St. Peter's in 2023, Isipadana in 2022, then St. Peter's 2018 and 2019, St. Joseph's College in 2017, Wesley in 2013, Isipadana 2014 and 2016, Science in 2015. So Isipadana College 4-time winners in the last 10 tournaments. St. Peter's College 3-time winners. Wesley, St. Joseph's and Science College, they have won the tournament once.
Well, the past 10 years have been dominated by Isipadana and St. Peter's, and I'm pretty sure they'd want to continue that. But the two teams on display today will definitely want to etch their name in the history books. Dharmaraja College in that 2013 semi-final came short against Wesley College. They were league winners in that year, and that was the last time that they won a schools rugby league, and I'm pretty sure they'd want to continue that as the teams are still going through their warm-ups. They'll want to get themselves warmed up very well, get those muscles going and get their processes right, because it's the first game of the season, isn't it, Laxisi? And I'm pretty sure they'd want to get their structure correct, their game plan going, and that's a coach's dream, isn't it, to get your structures going right at the start of the season.
Exactly. For both these teams, it's about setting the tone right for the rest of the season in this encounter. And D.S Senanayake College, Dharmaraja College, both will be hoping to prove a point here to kick things off and probably to keep some of the other teams who have been the top teams in the last few years on notice that they are coming for the big one this year.
Well, these two teams were in the same group last year, finished 4th and 5th. They want to do one better this season and try to maybe get into the super round, but that's for later. But for now, it is the knockouts that they'll be wanting to win.
So now we will head to a commercial break, and after that we'll be back with the live action here from the CRNFC grounds. Send you to Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence. Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
As the pioneer in Sri Lanka's bottled water industry, American Water has set the standard for over 3 decades. Made to be shared between friends. To fuel your next move. For a festive family meal. To help you stay hydrated wherever you may roam. For over 30 years, we've brought the Earth's bounty directly to you, wherever you are, whatever your needs.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චෞමරි අක්කා
පිටියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් පෆ් ලෙමන් පෆ් මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් chill වෙන්න ලෙමන්
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Our forests come in many forms. They can be up in the hills or down in the plains, fed by the rain or sculpted by the sun. Our forests are deeply rooted in us. They are a living inspiration.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හිටක සිට බැන්දා මාතේ ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් ලබේ හිටක බදේ වටේ හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. තමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours. Radials. The road is yours. Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
We're back live here from CRNFC. D.S Senanayake College taking on Dharmaraja College. Both teams going through their warm-ups, getting their final huddles done, getting their final messages across. The coaches from either side, I'm pretty sure, will want to try and get everything correct in this first game. Asela Deshapriya of D.S Senanayake and Sanjay Amunugama from Dharmaraja will want to get things right as the two teams are going through their processes, getting their warm-ups going. The sun has slowly but surely started to go down, Laksisi, and the cloud cover has increased. Will that play a part in this game? I'm pretty sure it would.
Obviously will a bit, but I think the current conditions they're very good for both the teams, I believe, to play some good running rugby. We saw how much the heat can have an effect on the game, especially during that game between Sri Lanka and Malaysia just a few days ago. How the Malaysian players were basically down and out even before the halftime break. So I think for these players, it's really great that the current weather situation is like this. So I'm hoping to see some very good action from both the teams. Because I mentioned earlier as well, both the sides they play some very good running rugby.
It is always a treat to watch when these two teams have ball in hand. D.S Senanayake College with the 5 wins last season, just losing the 2 games, one to St. Thomas's and one to the eventual champions of the last year's edition of the Knockout Championship, Isipatana. Dharmaraja, of course, winning just the 3 games and losing games, and one of those losses came at the hand of D.S Senanayake College, so I'm pretty sure they'd want to turn things around this season.
They had one of the best starts probably the best start of the whole season in the games that they played against Isipatana. But unfortunately, just at the end, especially during the latter parts of the first half, and just at the end, they gave away that encounter completely to Isipatana, and that encounter, that loss probably did hurt their chances of qualifying for the super rounds. So I think coming into this year, D.S Senanayake, they need to make sure that they don't give away those portions where they do have the advantage. That's something that I saw quite a lot from them last season, where they had all the momentum in the world to begin things, but just at the end, I think maybe a bit of overconfidence in some aspects played a part, and D.S Senanayake unfortunately gave away encounters to the opposition where they really should have won easily.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's something they'd want to change this season. But also they had a very good start to the season last year. Laksisi, they were red hot favourites to go into the super round. But then from their group, Isipatana and Trinity just clinched it at the end of it.
Last year, when these two sides met, as you mentioned, 44 points to 12, 32 points separating the two sides in that encounter. So D.S Senanayake, they'll want to continue that dominant performance once again in this encounter against the Rajans. But for Dharmaraja, it's about trying to get back on track after 2-3 seasons where we really didn't see the best of them. I think in 2023, the only result that really went their way was that win against Trinity College. Abid, I think you have some memories on that encounter as well, because you were out there as a player for Trinity College. So, but even after that good performance, Dharmaraja College, they just couldn't keep the consistency levels up.
Well, they've always been starting seasons well, Dharmaraja. That game that they won against Trinity was a season opener. And this is a season opener as well, and if that's anything to go by, they definitely want to get their tails up at the start of the season. But something that these two schools have done very well, Laksisi, is providing good players for the club arena as well. Over the last few years, Janidu Vijayaratna has been one of them. Tiven Pereira has been one of them from D.S Senanayake College, and last season, the club rugby season, the highest try scorer, Jayathu Rajaratna, was the 2023 DS captain. So they've been a real factory for the club rugby circuit, and I'm pretty sure they'd want to continue that as well.
Exactly, Jayathu Rajaratna. What a player he is, Jayathu Rajaratna. In 2022, he was playing alongside the 2022 season. Managed to win the division and qualify for the top division. And even in that, although they played in the lower division, they did manage to qualify for the finals. They did manage to qualify for the finals of the sevens tournament alongside Vidya at the college. And Jayathu Rajaratna, he started from there in 2023. In his senior year, he was a force to reckon with, and he has continued that coming into the club level as well. So it's really great to see the schoolboys who played in the last few years coming into the top divisions as such powerhouses. The Dialog Schools Rugby 2025 launch took place just a couple of days ago at the BMICH. The two trophy-winning skippers from last year, Dulas Nawade for St. Peter's College, winning the league, winning the 7th title, and Nisa Jayavira for Isipatana College, winning that knockout championship last year, and also the players from segment B and segment C were also out there, and all the 18 captains from the top division teams were out there as well. And this is someone that you'll really need to have a close eye on. Vishenka, the skipper of St. Peter's College, had a killer season last year as well, and this year as the skipper, he will definitely be a huge factor when it comes to the school's rugby arena.
Well, it's something big, isn't it, for all these players to represent their school at the highest level. It's something that you dream of when you're playing under 12, under 14, and then finally being able to be there right at the top for your school in under 19 level, representing many thousands of youngsters who will be cheering you on. And I'm pretty sure both schools that are on display today as well will want to continue that for their schools.
Timeline for the Dialog Schools rugby seasons for the year 2025. The knockouts we begin today on the 25th of April, and the first round it will end on the 27th, and then quarterfinals from the 3rd and 4th of May, semi-finals on the 9th and 11th of May, and the finals on the 18th of May. And then the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2025, first round from 6 June to 6 July, and then the super round, so the second round from 18th July to 10th August.
Well, it's a really long season, isn't it, Laksisi? 4 months long. It's not very easy to play a 4-month long season. for coaches as well. They would want to try and get their players fit for every single game, but that's not always the case in rugby. These are the three groups in the Dialog Schools Rugby League stage. Group A will have St. Peter's College, last year's champions, D.S Senanayake College, who will be on display today. Will play alongside them Wesley College, Science College, St. Anthony's College and Ananda College, who have been promoted from Division B to Division A, will play in Group A. Group B has St. Isipatana College, St. Thomas's College, Zahira College, Dharmaraja College, Kingswood College and Mahanama College, who have also been promoted to Division A. Group C we'll have Royal College, Trinity College, Vidyartha College, St. Joseph's College, Sri Sumangala College and Thurston College. So, very hotly contested groups. Laksisi, which group do you think will be the pool of death?
I think all the groups will be very, very competitive, but Group A, I believe it's going to be really, really close. So we have a lot more to talk about, but before that we will head to another commercial break, and on the other side we will have the starting 15s for the two teams and the kickoff. Stay tuned to Sri Lanka Samva Sports Channel, the Papare. Welcome back, everyone, to the CRNFC grounds. We're just moments away from the kickoff of this pre-quarterfinal encounter of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025 between D.S Senanayake College and Dharmaraja College. So while the official introductions are going on, about to view the info on the starting 15s and the bench for the two teams. For D.S Senanayake College, skipper Lankesh Vikram Singh, the lucid prop Med Lapir is the hooker, and the tight head prop Timat Boghavat, and then Geet Madisanayaka, Demika Mindinu, Sadila Anranga, and Yerash Pumuddaka, the second row, and then Praveem Lakmal, Chamit Samarasinghe, the halfback, and Buddhima Rusiru, the fly half, and Sujiva Kumar, Tenula De Silva, Tatira Pereira, Kinit Disanayake, and Rasindu Bandara, the fullback for them. So an experienced starting 15 for D.S Senanayake College, and when it comes to their bench, Jayatilaka, Edward, Samaranayaka, Gimhana, Ayushmanta, Vikramasinghe, Ravindra, Jayalat, Fernando, and Priyalal.
Well, for the lads from the hill capital Dharmaraja, they'll start with Sandun Gunasinghe, Abhilash Nikeshal and Akita Rasanjana in the front row. Idunet Bandar and Vagish Disanayake will play as second row, and the back three will be Gayan, Samaratunga, Naveen Rajapaksha and Dulkit Dias will play off the back of the scrum. Pawan Manodya has been given the nod at number 9. The captain Damsit Ratnayaka will play at fly half. Vidun Saparamadu and the vice captain Sadisha Virakon will be the centres. Bihanga Yapa Bandara and Dumindu Rajapaksha will play on the wings. Dumindu Rajapaksha scored against D.S Senanayake College the last time these two teams met, and Pahan Rajapaksha will play at fullback for Dharmaraja. Star-studded lineups from both teams and new faces as well, names that we're not very used to, and I'm pretty sure they'd want to make a name for themselves in this season.
Exactly, with the newcomers to the top squad or the main squad of the school each and every year in the last since the school's rugby scene began, we have seen how the youngsters they strive to do that extra special thing, to try to go that extra yard to make a name for themselves going into the next few years that they have to represent their school. So let's see which youngster stands up. Let's see which experienced campaigner holds the fort for these two teams, Dharmaraja and D.S Senanayake.
As the teams line up to sing their school anthems, something that you always look forward to as a schoolboy is to do that, and only 25 of you will get the opportunity to do that in a given game. Fantastic scenes for whoever who is wearing that jersey for the first time. And with the conclusion of the singing of the school anthems, the two teams will huddle up for one last time before they kick this season off. And the officials will make their way into the field as well. The referee for today's game will be Jivaka Fonseca. Charan Lienage on the bottom of your screen will be a touch judge alongside Pradeep Indika on the far corner. Fresh season. Some of these boys from either side have played in that under 18 team as well, that under 18 sevens team. Tatira Pereira for D.S Senanayake College was in that team as well.
Dharmaraja feeling the heat here, and they had to go for that clearance kick. And here's D.S Senanayake on the attack, on the move. And Dharmaraja getting that penalty advantage for holding on. Exactly what they needed to breathe a little safely, as D.S Senanayake College, they have managed to mount a lot of pressure on them early on, Nabid.
With a little switcheroo at the kickoff, Luxis doesn't really do much because the team is anyway ready for the kickoff, and the touch finder is very good from Dharmaraja skipper Damsit Ratnaik, and he takes them right to the other half. Very good touch finder from Dharmaraja, and DS know that they just need to calm their nerves and try to spoil this line out. We've had a few schools rugby seasons where line outs has been the nemesis for all schools, and with the new rules in place, they want to contest absolutely everything because you can get a crooked throw. Here we go.
Here's Abhilash Nikeshal. Not the best of first line outs there for Dharmaraja.
Well, he faked it, didn't he, Laksisi? The Dharmaraja hooker, Abhilash Nikeshal, not allowed to do that in rugby, and Pereira takes it quickly.
Yes, DS on the attack here. Not the best of passes there. Has a recovery job to do, Kinit Disanayake, but now it's Dharmaraja's opportunity to attack, and they get the ball as well, Abid. So all of a sudden, the pressure is on DS Senanayake.
Well, interesting option from Pereira. I know it's a free kick that they got, and even if they kick it out in a touch, they're not going to get the ball back. But I think maybe play the territorial game early on in this game. Try to put the forwards on the back foot of the opposition. For my liking, that tackle was a bit too high maybe. But the referee thinks otherwise, and we are the first scrum of the game.
There's Pawan Manodya. Feed the ball in for Dharmaraja. It's the number 8, gives it out to Manodya again. Oh, this is good. Brilliant from Dharmaraja. The first Amana Bank try for Dharmaraja College. Vidum Sapramadu scoring that try underneath the post. D.S Senanayake College defense caught sleeping there, Abid.
Well, what a start to the season for the young centre. That's a dream for any centre to sit your counterpart down and go right under the sticks. And within the first 3 minutes, they already have a try, Laksisi. That's why you need to play territorial when you have the ball in hand. Might be early stages in the league as well, Laksisi. You don't want to take too many chances as he slots it over. So it's 7-0. Dharmaraja take an early lead.
No mistakes there from the skipper Damsit. So both the teams are a bit scrappy when it comes to the defending aspects here, Abid. So I think still trying to shake things off and get into that right groove. So D.S Senanayake, they'll need to make a strong reply to that first try from Dharmaraja College. 7 points to nil. The first Samana Bank try of the game for Dharmaraja. So D.S Senanayake feeling the heat, feeling the pressure very, very early. Here started ThePapare with the restart kick. A good high-hanging restart from ThePapare. Very well collected by the halfback Manodya. Charged down by the incoming D.S Senanayake player. Now Manodya needs to get this out quickly. Clearance work to be done by the skipper. Now DS, the halfway mark, with an opportunity to attack. He just managed to stand his ground there. Dharmaraja College just not showing the needed discipline there, Abid.
Well, really unfortunate for Dharmaraja. The chase was very good. The chasers were right up there with the kick. It was very gutty stuff to hold on to the scrum half. Shamit Samarasinghe. And just unfortunate to get a hand in that ruck and not able to roll away. And D.S Senanayake have their first attacking line out of this game.
And DS, they'll definitely want to hit back here. D.S Senanayake, generally very aggressive unit, and they'll definitely not want to stay behind Dharmaraja College here. Here's the first line out for D.S Senanayake. Good from them. The number 8 trying to sell that dummy. Now Shamit marshalling the troops there, and the forwards joining in for D.S Senanayake. Now can the Dons hit back here? At the moment, is the forwards calling the shots for D.S Senanayake. Dharmaraja defense, they need to hold on here. Trying to get that first try on the board. D.S Senanayake, can they find the whitewash? A good pass out, and that will be the first try. The first Samana Bank try. Kinit Disanayake scoring that one for D.S Senanayake. So just like that, the Dons, they have managed to hit back.
Well, it was only a matter of seconds until they hit back. They kept on going the forwards, and that pass from Rasinu Bandara was absolutely pinpoint accurate to his win 3/4. Kinit Disanayake will go for D.S Senanayake's first try of this season. It's very important that the kickers get the 2 points as well. And this is knockout footy, Laksisi. It may be the start of the season, but straight away we're into a knockout tournament as Pereira lines it up. He looked to curl it back in, but he doesn't have the distance on it, so it will remain 5 points to 7. And good hit back from D.S Senanayake College.
A slight 2-point buffer still for Dharmaraja, but D.S Senanayake hitting back and hitting back very, very strongly. Now, what will Dharmaraja do? Good back and forth stuff when it comes to the attacking nature of the game a bit, but just as I mentioned earlier as well, the defensive aspect just not up to the mark from both the teams so far.
Something that I really love about the Schools Rugby League is the fact that you have your schoolmates cheering you on. Something that is not present at the club rugby game, as the kickoff, they made a mess out of it. D.S Senanayake. That's something that happens very often, isn't it, Laksisi? As soon as the team scores, they tend to make a mistake. But you can't really fault these boys because it's probably the first time they're catching a rugby ball wearing that big jersey that they've always dreamt of wearing.
Exactly. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, for these boys, when they go out there and they have to perform in front of their family, in front of their friends, that added pressure is always there. Now, from the scrum, Dharmaraja College passing the ball from left to right, going for that kick and chase option. The bounce almost favoring the Dharmaraja College chaser there. Dharmaraja putting a lot of pressure here. D.S Senanayake, can they get out of jail here inside their own 22? Acting as the scrum half there, Kenneth Disanayake, the try scorer for D.S Senanayake. Trying to slow things down a little bit there. Chamath Samarasinghe, the halfback. This is good. Trying to run from their own 22 here. And he loses the ball into touch.
Well, I get that the defense was coming up on Pereira, but he really needed to get that kick away. Not more than 5 minutes ago, that costed D.S Senanayake a try. That's what got Dharmaraja in the lead early on. But still early stages in this game, Laksisi. Another scrum for Dharmaraja. They've resorted to the boot of their captain very often in these early stages. And they look like they want to play a territorial game.
Exactly. Damsit Ratnayake is in the course of action a lot in the first 7 minutes that we have seen. And the referee having a little word with the lads from both the schools. The big forwards. Pavan set to feed the ball in. As Dulmit. Dharmaraja trying to mount an attack once again here. Here we go. Trying to showcase his power there. Good offload out. Back inside the 22-meter territory here. Dharmaraja. Can they get another try? Now once again, see forwards trying to join the party. Going into that big hit. This is good, Pavan. And yes, the number 11 gives it out. That's Dumindu Rajapaksha. Just 5 to 10 meters short now, Dharmaraja College. Can they get over for a second Namana Bank try here? Pavan gives it out to his right lock, Vagisha Disanayake. Dharmaraja inching closer towards another try. Good defensive work coming in from D.S Senanayake. He is slowly getting things together in the defensive front. But Dharmaraja, they had that advantage in play, so the referee, he will go back to that.
But I really like what Dharmaraja is doing in these early stages, Laksisi. And they're taking it quick as well, so their intent is on point. Abhilash Nikeshala takes it forward.
Pavan deciding to use that shorter side. There's Abhilash again. Gives it out to Agisha. D.S Senanayake pushing back Dharmaraja a little bit there. Again, the pick can go from Sandun. Trying to use that short side. Dharmaraja forwards trying to outmuscle D.S Senanayake here. So not rolling away once again with the advantage. Dharmaraja gives the long pass out to his fullback Pahan. Needs support here. Takes it out the skipper. Dharmaraja building up the phases here. D.S Senanayake. They are on the warning of a penalty. So Dharmaraja, what will be their option? They know that the penalty is coming for them. Trying to sell a little dummy there. the left wing Bihanga. So the referee will go back to that penalty for the Rajans.
Well, D.S Senanayake will have to look sharp here because they've given a couple of penalties away. They take it quickly again through the try scorer, Saparamadu, who will barge his way over for his second try. Well, it was coming, isn't it, Laksisi? They were hitting the defense again and again, and the continuity from Dharmaraja is what got them there, and the intent, the pace in which they play is what got Vidun Saparamadu over for an Amana Bank try.
Vidun Saparamadu scoring that second Amana Bank try for Dharmaraja College. Brilliant piece of work. They kept their patience, and D.S Senanayake College defense ultimately had to give in for the sheer patience that Dharmaraja College showed during the last few minutes of this game. They managed to build up the phases. They managed to get those meters in. They got close as possible to the whitewash, and automatically the mistakes crept in from D.S Senanayake College. Yes, the skipper Damsit trying to add 2 more points for Dharmaraja.
Dream start to the season for Dharmaraja so far. The kick might go astray, but if you look back, Laksisi, the reason why D.S Senanayake find themselves in this part of the field is because of the fact that they didn't clear their lines right at that onset. I think it was Pereira on that occasion that couldn't clear his lines, and that's what kept them on this part of the field. And they've conceded 2 tries so far in the early stages, both of which, yes, they have not been up to the task defensively, but territorially they would want to get into the other half, and I'm pretty sure they'd want to put this kick deep and try to get their chasers up and try to pin Dharmaraja in their own half.
Exactly. ThePapare needs to produce a good restart kick here, one that can put some pressure on Dharmaraja. Spera a lot flatter this time, the restart kick. Now Dharmaraja showing a lot of confidence here, but they need to make sure that they don't get carried away. The difference is just 7 points. The pick can go. That was Abhilash Nikeshwala, the hooker for Dharmaraja. Pawan Manod taking his time, gives it out to his skipper Damsit. He goes for the clearance. Good chase coming in as well. Trying to sell that little dummy, the fullback Rasidu Bandar for D.S Senanayake. Here's Methila Piris, one of the co-vice captains for D.S Senanayake for this season. Now Chamit Samarasinghe directing his forwards to join the party here. Here's the right lock, Demika Vindinu. Now the line joins in for D.S Senanayake. ThePapare still going. ThePapare, 3 Rajans defenders holding on to him, but still gaining 4-5 meters, showing some power there. ThePapare. Now again up to the forwards from D.S Senanayake. They know that they have to hit back here. Methila Piris going in for that big hit. Here's Chamit. Oh, this is good. Rasidu Bandar almost finding space to go all the way. Now with the quick pick and go from Chamit, and the pass just going astray there. Not backwards, says the referee. But Dharmaraja College, they have managed to win the ball. And Damsit, the skipper, with the clearance for Dharmaraja.
Well, a good passage of play for D.S Senanayake. Cut short by a creative offload from the scrum half Chamit Samarasinghe, who wanted to go on the short side, and I don't blame him for going on the short side because the gap was there. He just had to draw the man and give the pass out. That was the first passage of play from D.S Senanayake that really looked promising, isn't it, Laksisi? The first try, yes, they had their forwards trying to barge their way through. But that was the first passage of play that they looked really promising. Here's another line out for DS.
Good collection there. Now D.S Senanayake showcasing some confidence here. The last few phases giving that much needed firepower to them. Now the forwards, again the forwards have showcased some good potential here for D.S Senanayake in the early parts of this game. Now Shamit, not the best of collections there. Luckily, the ball went backwards. Now Shamit Samarasinghe shifting directions there, deciding to go to his left. The right lock there become Indinu. Not able to find any meters there. Trying to break that defensive line. Now D.S Senanayake trying to showcase that prowess that they have with their line. And unfortunately a knock forward there now. Dharmaraja with the chance to mount an attack inside their own half here. The skipper, he will come into the party once again. Oh, that's not good from D.S Senanayake. Kinit Disanayake, the try scorer. But they do have that penalty coming up, D.S Senanayake College.
I'll let the referee do the talking, and the referee does exactly what he has to do. He's shown a yellow card. Maybe not playing to the referee's whistle and not hearing that that was a penalty on that occasion. Dumindu Rajapaksha. That was a huge tackle, isn't it, Laksisi? And very dangerous as well on that. Probably the first yellow card of this season. Not too sure how it is going on the other side of the road at Royal Complex. But there, oh, that was a massive tackle, but an illegal tackle. The reason why the referee was running back for a penalty was because the Dharmaraja chasers were in front of the kicker. And now just 5 meters out, D.S Senanayake have a chance. And they hit number 2 and they go to a pot behind them and they set them all up.
Now D.S Senanayake with a golden opportunity to score that second try. Shamit Samarasinghe hiving up the forwards as much as possible. Just meter short now. And that is the Amana Bank try. The second one for D.S Senanayake. So try after try here in this encounter. D.S Senanayake, they hit back once again, Abid.
Well, as soon as their opponents score, the other team has always hit back. And D.S Senanayake have taken maximum of the opportunity that was presented. Praveen Lakmal is the beneficiary of the forwards' good work. Another Amana Bank try for D.S Senanayake, and we've just had 20 minutes of rugby, Laksisi, and we've already had 4 Amana Bank tries. It would be lovely if we could have a replay of that previous try. It was very creative from D.S Senanayake at the line out. Just a couple of frames before that, where they transferred the ball to the back of the line out. Caught the Dharmaraja forwards napping and foxed them. Got them in that front pod. And by the time the Dharmaraja forwards had come back to the pod at the back of the line out, they had already scored the try. As the kick goes off the upright and goes through the posts. Shamit Samarasinghe adds the extras. And we've really got a game on our hand, haven't we, Laksisi?
Exactly, Abid. 12 all here at CRNFC. Dharmaraja scoring the first try, DS with the second, Dharmaraja then scoring that second, and DS Senanayake just a few minutes later scoring that second try. One successful conversion, one conversion that didn't go over. So everything to play for here. And 24 points here inside the first 20 minutes of this pre-quarterfinal clash of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025. As the restart from Damsit. Collected well this time. No mistakes there. And straight away the forwards showcasing what they are capable of for D.S Senanayake. Now DS inside their own half here. Can't afford to do the same mistakes they did in the last 2 times they played in a similar position. Conceded 2 tries. Shamit Samarasinghe going for that little box kick, and that's a major mistake. You can't think about that mistake, son. You need to make sure that you keep on with the game. Giving away some meters there.
Well, the Dharmaraja player is very lucky that the ball was knocked forward. Well, he regretted dropping that ball, but there's no time to regret what you've done in rugby. straight away play to the referee's whistle, isn't it? As soon as that ball was dropped, he just completely took his focus off the game. And if the D.S Senanayake player just went past him, that was curtains for Dharmaraja. That would have been another Amana Bank try for D.S Senanayake. Scrum time for Dharmaraja. And the scrum half drops it. And yes, it was a high shot. It was a high shot. Very well called by referee Fonseca. He was right on the spot.
And D.S Senanayake trying to make a move, trying to get that lead for the first time in the game. But fortunately, things going the way of Dharmaraja at the moment.
He was caught a bit high there. And we'll see what happens. And he's showed a card. So try scorer Lakmal is shown a card. So 2 players in the sin bin. Both teams playing with 14 players. And referee Fonseca hasn't really been afraid to show the card. And I think that's important that he stamps his authority at the start of this game. As Dharmaraja kick to touch through their captain Rajapaksha, who takes them into the opposition half.
And the update from Royal Complex, Abid, St. Joseph's 15, Wesley 5. St. Joseph's with a 10-point buffer against Wesley. Now Dharmaraja opting for that short one. And unfortunately, although they did get it right, they have lost the ball forward. A scrum in favour of DS.
Well, the correct option at the line out. The gap opened up for Wagisha Disanayake. He's the young lad with the headband on. The option was right, but the execution on that occasion for Dharmaraja just not sticking. The ball not sticking into the hands of the hooker Abhilash. Now with D.S Senanayake just having the 7 players in the scrum, Dharmaraja has to drop a player back. And they've dropped how many players? 1, 2. They've dropped 3 players, Laksisi. They've dropped 2 players rather. Trying to out-took it, Dharmaraja. There you go, the 2 men who have been shown the card, getting to know each other on the naughty chair.
Here's Shamit Samarasinghe at the feed in, and Dharmaraja, the scrum turning things around. Pawan Manodya doing some quick work there for Dharmaraja. So Dharmaraja now with the momentum. It's a big effort from the forwards of Dharmaraja to turn things around at the scrum. Now with the chance here, here's the left wing Bihanga Yapa Bandara. D.S Senanayake trying to win the ball back. Advantage in favour of Dharmaraja. The left flanker Gayan Samarathunga acting as the first receiver there. Here's Abhilash Nikeshala. Pawan Manodya. Now the skipper Damsit gives the long pass out. Dharmaraja once again on the move, and that will be the 3rd Amana Bank try for Dharmaraja. I think first Bihanga Yapa Bandar, the try scorer.
Well, the cutout ball from the captain Damsit was pinpoint accurate, and the offload to Yapa Bandara was perfect as well. Dharmaraja hit back. This is really starting to become a boxing contest, isn't it? Laksisi, as soon as one person throws a jab, the opposition throws a jab, and that's exactly what Dharmaraja have done.
Great back and forth encounter so far. Damsit Ratnayaka the skipper. Can he add the 2 points here? Can he increase that lead slightly for the team?
Well, he's been all over the park so far, the captain. He's kicked off hand and he's kicked off the tee as well. Doesn't get the extras for his team on this occasion. Something that I'd like Dharmaraja to do, Laksisi, is, yes, they're scoring tries, but it would be a bit better for their backline if they try to straighten the lineup a bit more. I'd like to see that from the captain, but if the tries come, it really wouldn't matter for the coaching staff, but it would really start opening the gaps for Dharmaraja if they tend to run a bit straight and hard. Now it's 17-12. Ten minutes remaining in this first half. It's a 35-minute-and-a-half game, so it's a 70-minute game. If you're still glued to the club rugby season, it's high time you take your focus off of it and come to the schools rugby season, because it's a 70-minute game. Now straight away getting the clearance in.
And D.S Senanayake College, they have made a little change. Abid, one of the try scorers, Kenny Disanayaka, he has gone out, and Lihara Vikramasinghe, or Yasandha Ravindra Yadav, he has come in. So an early change for D.S Senanayake. Spotting the space there, going for that little kick. Again, that collection. Oh, this is good. A brilliant run from the Dharmaraja fullback, Pahan Rajapaksha. Dharmaraja again on the move inside D.S Senanayake territory here. And D.S Senanayake, they get the ball back.
Well, right on spot there, Timat Bogahawatta. It's not every day that you see a prop forward poaching over the ball and trying to win a holding on penalty. Good stuff from the prop forward to win his team back possession. Rusiru will try to look for touch. He doesn't find touch, but Dharmaraja win 3/4 has knocked the ball forward. But emotions are running high, isn't it, Laksisi? Start of the season, fresh season, they want to get their school on the winning side. You can't really blame these boys, but they really need to keep the discipline going, and the referee needs to maybe keep a tab on it. Speak to the two captains, get the two captains to talk to the teams, calm things down, tell them that it's just a game of rugby, and ask them to get on with it. And yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly, the referee making sure that both the captains and both the players involved get those words straight out of him after that incident. We're all set to go once again. So as Abid mentioned, the two teams, yes, at the start of the season, start of a fresh season, but they need to make sure that the discipline levels are always maintained at the highest level possible.
Good attacking scrum for D.S Senanayake. They want to make the most of it. Right hand side corner. Pereira looks to drop it short for his centre partner, but it's knocked forward in the process. Tenula De Silva was trying to run that line, run the short line, but he couldn't catch the ball and get through the gap. We saw Dhanushka Ranjan doing that a couple of times against Malaysia. I'm pretty sure that's something that these boys have watched as well. There you go. That split second is where De Silva needs to cut back in and run the short line.
Yeah, but we can say it's a bit of a renaissance era for Sri Lankan rugby, because a lot of 15-side games that we will see in the upcoming months, 5 games coming your way where Sri Lanka will play, and a lot of games when it comes to schools rugby. So a lot of rugby action for all the rugby fans out there. We know there's a huge rugby following here. Sloppy, the fly half for D.S Senanayake. Now some good step in there. D.S Senanayake College. Chamit gives it out at the halfway mark now. D.S Senanayake trailing by 5 points. A lovely break there from the right lock, Demika Mindinu. But the referee has spotted something there. Here's the replay.
Well, in the process of trying to get that offload out, he knocked the ball forward. Good busting run from the lock forward, Demika Mindinu, and that's something that D.S Senanayake needs if they're going to pierce the gap and pierce the first line of defense of Dharmaraja.
And what a first week or the first day of action we are having, Abid. 12 points to 15. Wesley College also hitting back there. So just 3 points separating the two sides at the Royal Complex as well.
D.S Senanayake win the ball back off the scrum. And both teams back to the full complement of players now, with Lakmal coming in. Now centre field scrum for D.S Senanayake. Good attacking opportunity.
Now D.S Senanayake on the march here. They know they have to score next. They can't afford to let Dharmaraja score the next try. They're just behind by 5 points at the moment. D.S Senanayake can't afford for Dharmaraja to extend that. Now trying to attack from the left-hand side of the field, but advantage in favour of Dharmaraja, losing the ball forward again, D.S Senanayake.
But I would like to see the backlines of both teams running a bit straighter. What happens when you run across is that your win three-quarters can't really find the space to run, and they don't really have the gaps that they could exploit. And you have to understand that maybe your win three-quarter is probably the fastest man on the pitch for your team. So running straight and hard would also open gaps in midfield, but also open gaps out wide for your number 11 and number 14.
I think if we take that most recent encounter between Sri Lanka and Malaysia as an example, Abid, the likes of Nigel Radvata, Akash Madhushankar, Danushka Ranjan, Dina Lekanayake, they always made sure that they made some good ground. And that's something that these boys can really take an example. Make sure that you make ground and you give your wingers the chance to run and use their creativity, and that will be the half-time. Dharmaraja with a 5-point buffer, 17 points to 12. D.S Senanayake slightly behind. Dharmaraja started off very, very strongly, scoring a try inside the first 2-3 minutes. And D.S Senanayake, they did manage to hit back, but Dharmaraja again with the second try. DS then scored a try for themselves, and 5 minutes before halftime, Dharmaraja scoring that third try to create that little separation going into halftime.
It's been an interesting half. Jabs thrown all around between Dharmaraja and D.S Senanayake. 17 points to 12 is what the scorecard reads at halftime. And we'll go into a quick commercial break. And on the other side, you'll have first half highlights and second half action. Stay tuned to the Papare.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක.
චොමරි අක්කා. ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හික්කක සිත බැඳා ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් අපේ
හිටක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගෑස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චොමරි අක්කා. පිටියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චොමරි අක්කා. පිටියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සර විහිදේ හික්කක සිත බැඳා ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් අපේ
හිටක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගෑස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා. ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil. Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
There is a rhythm to island life, where a walk is a dance, where there is work-life flexibility, where fun is serious, and where songs rise out of the sea. The unique and amazing facets of island living inspire us.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Car Radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Welcome back everyone to the CRNFC grounds. We are just moments away from the second half action of this pre-quarterfinal encounter. The Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025. Dharmaraja College with a 5-point buffer against D.S Senanayake College going into the second half. Right now we're about to take a look at the highlights from the first half of this encounter.
Well, it was a scrappy start from both teams, but right from the get-go, Dharmaraja really put the pressure on and got out of their half very well. I think the story of this half has been the fact that Dharmaraja has cleared their lines better than D.S Senanayake has. That's why they find themselves in the lead, 17 points to 12. A couple of phases of play from Dharmaraja saw Saparamadu go over for his first Amana Bank try. The captain, Damsit Ratnayaka, was all over the park, and that was a brilliant cutout ball from Rasindu Bandara for his win three-quarter to go over for the try. This was that second try that Saparamadu scored. Some good defense from D.S Senanayake won them the ball back. This was that opportunity on the short side. The gap was there, but they went back for the penalty and rolled right over through a maul. The number 9 getting the kick through, Chamit Samarasinghe. And this was that touch of brilliance from the number 24 from Dharmaraja, Geet Ratnayaka. And as we go into the second half, I'm pretty sure both these teams would want to try to get the upper hand and score first, because the team that scores first generally is the team that has the momentum going into that half. Dharmaraja would want to kick off and kick deep and try to apply pressure. And something that Dharmaraja has done very well, Laksisi, is the fact that in phase play they've come up very fast in defense, and when they've kicked, they've chased very, very well. And if that continues, that will keep the DS backline at bay. But with the skill that this DS line possesses and the experience that the line possesses, I'm pretty sure that they would want to spoil the party for Dharmaraja. Dharmaraja travelling up to Colombo, or down to Colombo rather, down the hills. And here's second half action. Ratnayaka, the captain, will kick us off. 35 minutes will decide who will go into the quarterfinal. Will it be DS or Dharmaraja? And straight away, the man has been taken without the ball, and DS have a penalty early on in this half, Laksisi.
D.S Senanayake with the opportunity to put some early pressure on Dharmaraja in the second half. Dharmaraja will be hoping that they can start the second half in the same manner they began the encounter. That was a bit correctly mentioned at the end of the first half. It's jab after jab in that first half. So the next 35 minutes, we'll be able to find out which team delivers that all-important knockout punch. Will it be DS or will it be Dharmaraja? It's too close to call at the moment, and a very close game at Royal Complex as well. A bit just 1 point separating the two sides at half-time. Wesley and St. Joseph's playing in that game. Jose with the 1 point advantage.
Well, with the two teams going into half-time, what do you think the coaches would have told them, Laksisi? Asela Deshapriya for DS and Sanjay Amanugama from Dharmaraja. What do you think the message would have been?
I think, especially from Coach Asela, he's someone who doesn't like to see the mistakes that they did in that first half. But here's Dharmaraja with that steal from the line out. Not the best of efforts from D.S Senanayake. I think that's something that Coach Asela would have told them not to do in the half-time break. Now Dharmaraja is brilliant. The number 14. It's Rajapaksha, Duminda Rajapaksha. Now Dharmaraja with the advantage. And he drops the ball forward. But they do have that line offside advantage.
Well, the defense from DS has really come up and put their shoulders into all the tackles, but they've caught themselves a bit too eager, coming up a bit too early, and it will be interesting to see where Dharmaraja go with this. They don't opt for the 3, they're going for the line out. Interesting call. Or they're going for the scrum. It's an even more interesting call.
Abid, now this is something that I noticed throughout this encounter. Both the teams, whenever they got that penalty advantage from kicking distance, very straightforward opportunities, they decided to go for the options. Now, if Dharmaraja did take the 3 and got it over, that meant that they would have had the lead by 8 points. That means D.S Senanayake, they have to score twice from there onwards. Dharmaraja probably trying to get the 5 or the 7 here. I think the thought process is that it's a lot better. Oh, this is good. Absolutely brilliant. The pass comes out to number 12. Vidun Sapramadu. Dumindu Rajapaksha with that lovely break for Dharmaraja. Now, D.S Senanayake feeling the pressure here. Can Dharmaraja score that first try of the second half? Can they begin this second half in the same way they began this encounter? Not rolling away. D.S Senanayake conceding the penalties as well here. The penalty advantage with Dharmaraja. Abhilash trying to use his power, but gets taken down. Will this be the try? Yes, it will be. Oh no, yes, it will be the Amana Bank try. The 4th try, Dharmaraja starting off very, very impressively in the second half as well.
Well, why go for the 3 when you can go for the 5? They kept on hitting the defense, and it was a matter of time until Damsit Ratnayake, the captain, went over for an Amana Bank try. And the team that scores first generally is the team that takes the momentum into the rest of the half. And Dharmaraj has really showed up, haven't they, Laksisi? New season, new hopes. The old boys, the parents will be backing them. And these boys have really come down to Colombo and put a show out of it. That's that Rajapaksa evaded the first, went past the second, the tackle of Pereira, and went over for a very well-deserved try. And he looked to add the extras and put his team ahead.
Dharmaraja College, the skipper, unable to add the 2 points, but they'll be okay with the 5. Now a 10-point buffer for the Rajans. Now what's weird to say is, Abid, that last year Dharmaraja College, they were completely blown away by D.S Senanayake, but this year, to kick things off, they have come up with a great mindset. They have been the better side in most of the aspects in the game so far. Now the question is whether they can keep up the same consistency, whether they can keep up the same patience that they have shown in the encounter.
Well, something that D.S Senanayake did last year was they started the season off very well, and if this does continue, it won't be the same start. The two teams faced each other in the season opener last year as well. DS coming out victorious, but I think maybe losing a couple of senior players would have changed their structure a bit and letting that bounce. But lucky for him, he had one of his teammates to cover him up.
Getting that clearance work done. No, charge down. But Dharmaraja, they'll get another chance to defend their territory. Very, very lucky. Damsit, very rare moment where things just didn't go his way in this encounter.
Well, the intent from D.S Senanayake now has really shot up. They know that they need to play catch up. And another thing they maybe not as players would remember, but as a coaching unit would remember, is that if they end up losing this game, they'd have a break for about a month. And then coming back to rugby after a month is like starting off a fresh season, isn't it? Getting your processes right is something that's very tough. So they would want to maybe win the game, but the ball is kicked out on the full. So we'll go back for a scrum for D.S Senanayake, and prime real estate for them now. They're in prime real estate and really good attacking opportunity.
Nice keeper Damsit Ratnayaka just not getting things right after scoring that try. As you mentioned, Abid, this encounter being a knockout fixture is a really very tricky situation for all these teams coming into this first season. As you mentioned, if they do lose this first encounter, they have to stay back. They have to watch all other teams playing for the next month. And it won't be easy. As you mentioned, it will be like starting off a fresh season after they come back into the field after a month in a competitive situation. And also another tricky part is this is a brand new formation. They need to make use of this formation and get things done. Now, D.S Senanayake trying to hit back. Will we see the same pattern like we saw in that first half? Now D.S Senanayake, they need to score this try. They can't afford to fall back too far behind in this clash. Dharmaraja already with a 10-point advantage on the forwards. Now the line coming into the action. Oh, unfortunate slip up there. It was starting to look a bit enterprising for D.S Senanayake, but unfortunately was unable to keep his footing right. Now again, I think that's the number 8, Praveen Lakmal, showcasing some raw power there, Praveen. And now the tight head prop Timat Boghavat. Dharmaraja College defense trying to hold on here. Can they do it? Will this be an Amana Bank try? Just short D.S Senanayake. The halfback almost going over Chamat Samara Singh, and that will be the Amana Bank try. Once again, the back and forth nature of this clash continues, Abid.
Well, the first time they had ball in hand in this half, D.S Senanayake, and they've really come to play in this second half. They must have really got a earful from their coach Asela Deshapriya, and they've really come to play in this second half, and they're hitting the first line of defense very hard, which is why they've been able to go across the gain line. Forwards and backs combining for a very good try for Dharmaraja, for D.S Senanayake. And now Pereira will line it up. It's a 5-point game now. He'll want to make it a 3-point game.
Yeah, they need this conversion to go over DS. Unfortunately, it won't. So, Dharmaraja, they'll continue to have that 5-point lead. But Abid, the pattern is alive in this game. Dharmaraja scoring a try, D.S Senanayake scoring a try, and D.S Senanayake, I think now it's the perfect time for them to break that pattern.
Yep, they'll need to collect this ball cleanly off the kickoff, get themselves to the right parts of the field and play the rugby that they did to score that previous try. And a mistake from the captain, Damsit Ratnayake, is exactly what they needed to get the ball back. So DS have the ball back and they look like they have the urgency to get forward, but they're stopped by referee Fonseca and they'll have a centre scrum.
And I think Damsit, the skipper, Damsit Ratnayake, I think if you take a look at how he's playing at the moment, I think it's a perfect example for how things change in a game of rugby. He had 40 brilliant minutes out there, but the last 5 minutes things have not gone his way after scoring that try. That's how quick things can change.
But it's important that he clicks fast for his team, because he is a crucial peg in this Dharmaraja team. Kicking it forward is the scrum half. Tries to collect it, the scrum half, but he has another player around him. They need quick recycle ball now. DS. They pick and go.
D.S Senanayake. Like that, D.S Senanayake, they take the lead for the first time in this game with 24 points to 22. Dharmaraja, now they have to play that catching up game. They're behind by just 2 points, yes, but going into the last 20 minutes, it won't be an easy task as D.S Senanayake College, they have their tails up here.
Well, slowly but surely the supporters from either one of these camps are finding their voice and getting behind their youngsters. You can see everyone on their feet on the main pavilion, as now Ratnayaka needs to take a big, huge breath and get back and get going again. 20 minutes remaining in this game. D.S Senanayake leading by 2 points. Chamit hits one of his forwards to get the angle better for the clearance perhaps. And it's charged down. Now opportunity for Dharmaraja, chasing after it. He just needs to dive onto it, but it should be a penalty. And it is a penalty try rather for Dharmaraja. Absolutely on spot referee Jeevaka Fonseca. You heard many people shouting on this pavilion side saying it should be a penalty, and referee Fonseca goes right under the post and give them a penalty try.
Dharmaraja College, I think D.S Senanayake College making that cardinal error. You can't afford to do that while defending, especially so close to the try line. Penalty try, and Dharmaraja, they get back in front in this game. 29-24, 5-point gap between the two sides. So many tries are within this game, and some of them mainly due to the mistakes from the opposition. Some of them have been very good, but so far entertaining game between these two sides, and a very similar situation at Royal Complex as well as Wesley College. They have managed to take the lead.
Well, if you have been waiting for the Dialog Schools Rugby knockouts and the league, you are being treated to a thriller here. So referee runs to check on a player, but he's been asked to substitute the player, and we kick things off again through Pereira. He goes deep. The DS chasers are there, but it's taken by Yapa Bandara and obstruction. Unfortunate, very unfortunate for Dharmaraja. Well, this game is slowly but surely getting us to the edge of our seats. But the play from either side hasn't been the most tactical and the most skillful, but the scorecard has really kept us interested in this one. 5 points in it. And D.S Senanayake with the scrum inside the opposition 22. The game has been held up because the captain Damsit Ratnayake is limping, trying to link back to his position. And as he courageously comes back to his position at fly half to defend this scrum, we'll see how that pans out. New scrum half in for D.S Senanayake College. They hit the centre, Pereira. If there's anyone who can spark something for DS, it's that man. Now they'll pick and go through their forwards. Slowly but surely getting their way across the line. Closer to the line rather. Now they pick it up and give it to a pod of forwards. They hit their lock forward, Demika Mindinu. Takes a couple of men to bring him down. Now they set it up. The pick and go again. Patience is the name of the game for DS. The try scorer Lakmal will pick and go, and they have advantage now. Now free play for them. They go to their line to Pereira, who looks to step past the defender, but he's manhandled down. They'll hit again. Now they take it out of it and they put the jab in. The cross kick was very well executed, but the collection didn't help them. And oh, how about that? We're going back for another penalty try. And on this occasion, for what offense is going to be something that we'll have to see. But here you go. That's that replay then. Oh, he was taken in the air. But it's a call that will raise a few eyebrows, but nonetheless, referee Fonseca has gone under the sticks and he's signaled that it's a penalty try.
Yeah, so we can say that the fun continues here at Sierra FC. I mean, what a game we have been able to witness here. Maybe not the technical masterpiece that we would have hoped for, but a lot of points. 29 points to 31, 60 points altogether, and we still have around 17 minutes to go on our clock.
But also what those two penalty tries have done is brought both teams down to 14 players. And with 15 minutes to go and just 2 points in it.
And at Royal Complex, with the try, St. Joseph's College, they have taken back the lead as well. So both the games producing some back and forth action. The first day of the Dialog Schools rugby season for the year 2025. Big no argue from, I think that was Mindinu.
Well, as soon as he went into contact, he went right down to the ground. And it doesn't look too good, because the referee has signaled for the medical officials to come onto the field and quickly assist the player. It was right on spot there, referee Fonseca. But we hope that it's nothing serious, because this is just the start of the season, and a long season at that. It's Demika Mindinu, if I'm not mistaken, who is on the ground nursing an injury.
Mindinu has been a very influential player for D.S Senanayake in this game so far. Now, it'll be a shame for them to miss him for the remaining 15 minutes. And looks like they will have to make that change, unfortunately, for D.S Senanayake.
What this also does is it slows down the game, And that's something that this game needed, isn't it? This game was going at a really high pace. Both teams scoring tries one after the other. And what I like what both teams are doing is they've huddled up and they're trying to get their game plans sorted, get their messages across. The water boys that you see on screen are of course not coming just with the water but also with a message from the coach. But unfortunate for Mindinu, we cannot continue this game.
A round of applause by the supporters who have gathered here at the CINFC grounds. Not just the D.S Senanayake supporters, also the supporters from Dharmaraja College as well, who have come out here to Colombo to support their boys. Mindinu, D.S Senanayake College, they'll be hoping that they can see him if they do qualify for the game next week.
But play will continue with a scrum. 15 minutes to go, 2 points in it. DS in the lead.
With the feed in, Tivanka Jayasundara. Bigger pardon, that was Lihar Vikramasinghe. Now, Dharmaraja College taking his time here. Pawan Manod there, and he loses it forward. D.S Senanayake back with position here. This is good. Now D.S Senanayake trying to mount an attack here. They have a 2-point buffer. They want to increase that to 7 or 9 here. Going into the last 10 minutes, that will definitely be a good lead for them. Timat Bogahavatta, who scored 2 tries. Well collected. Now breaks away from the second tackler as well. A good comeback from the first tackler who missed him. But the number 24 now using the left hand side of the field, Dharmaraja, and not the best of work there from the two Dharmaraja College players. You can't afford to do that when you're trailing by 2 points.
Well, he did very well to get out of that. Get out of that 22. Did the win 3/4. The man wearing the number 24 jersey, Geet Maratnayaka. Now DS have the ball. And they have a scrum.
Vikramasinghe complaining the referee. I think they'll have to re-engage here. Now this time Vikramasinghe feeds it in. Now D.S Senanayake running from their own half here. Good passing here, some slick passing from the line. Now it's about trying to make sure that they keep up the continuity here. Close to that halfway mark. Forwards joining in as well. Is the big number 3. Scored 2 back-to-back tries. Spotted the gap, went for that kick. Probably overcooked it. No, didn't overcook it. But going for that safe option there.
Well, good knowledge of the law. He didn't want to take that ball back in, so it will be a goal line dropout or a try line dropout. If the Dharmaraja player took that ball back into the goal line, it would have been a 5-meter scrum. So lucky that the ball travelled a bit extra for Dharmaraja. And they'll have a goal line dropout and they'll want to put it as deep as possible and push D.S Senanayake back.
With the kicking duties, it's Sadish Veerakon, the vice captain. Here's Praveen Lakmal, big number 8 for D.S Senanayake. Oh, that's a powerful hit from the number 18, Shenal Samranayake. Now here's Bogavatta. Can Bogavatta go for a hat-trick here? Bogavatta just been so hard for Dharmaraja to keep him down and trying to be a bit cheeky there, but they did have the advantage. Yes, Senanayake knew exactly what he was doing.
Now is where their rugby IQ will have to come into play. They're 2 points ahead. If they put the 3 in, they're right in front of the posts. And they do not put the 3 in. They take it and go.
Now, just few meters short, D.S Senanayake. I think that was Praveen Lakmal. Now trying to use that right hand side of the field. Unfortunately, a forward pass. D.S Senanayake thought they had that try. The try that created that separation going into the last 10 minutes.
Well, the gap was open in the corner. Pereira threw an outrageous pass. And it was just steamed forward. And that's why, just before I could even say maybe take the 3, they took the tap. And if they did take the 3, they would have been 5 points ahead of Dharmaraja. And Dharmaraja would have had to score and convert if they were to take back the lead. But nonetheless, it's a scrum for Dharmaraja. And this is where they need to be clinical, isn't it?
As I mentioned earlier as well, with both the teams not taking that 3-point option throughout this encounter so far. I wonder whether Dharmaraja College, if they do get the chance, going into the last 10 minutes, whether they will take it, because 3 points would give them the lead. 4-5 instances where we saw both the teams turning down that 3-pointer. Now they need to get that clearance right. Now DS back with the ball. Now here's Shamit. Now the referee goes with his whistle. I think he has spotted something here. Going back to his assistant referee to have a little chat.
The referees having a word with each other. We'll see what comes out of it. And he's calling for the number 6 of DS. That's Satila Anuranga. And he's shown the card for we're not too sure what reason.
So another yellow card. D.S Senanayake will probably don't have the services of that player until the end of this game. And an update from Royal Complex. Wesley College back in the lead, 29-23. So both the teams still open for both the sides here this day one. Meanwhile, Dharmaraja College, not sure which player that is. Sadish Veerakon, the vice captain of Dharmaraja College. He's down at the moment. Not exactly sure what happened there.
Well, it would be unfortunate if he has to leave the field because his captain has left the field, and if he does leave the field too.
How much an impact that would have, Abid, for Dharmaraja College to play the last 10 minutes without the captain and the vice captain, both of them, not being out there in the park.
Really hope that it's nothing serious, because it did look quite serious the way the referee ran to the player and how the stretcher has come out. Well, again, another stoppage, Laksisi. The game has really slowed down, hasn't it, from the previous stoppage? I was just talking to you about how the stoppage would really affect the pace of the game. And I think 2 stoppages like this really slows down the game. And that's when teams need to take all points on offer. Because if the game starts to slow down, it means that you're probably not going to have the opportunity to score tries as much as you would have before.
Meanwhile, the right lock, Demika Mindinu, is out there. He's back in the middle for D.S Senanayake. I think he had a blood injury earlier. Now looks like Virakon will have to leave. Hopefully, Virakon is all okay. It looks like he will be stretched off, Abid.
It's quite unfortunate, isn't it, at the start of the season? But we're thankful that Mindinu is back after that hit. But for Virakon, him being stretchered off is not a very good sign. This game has had absolutely everything, hasn't it? It has had everything except for kicks at goal.
Yeah, exactly. Both the teams not going for that 3-pointer. Who knows? We do have 10 minutes remaining. Maybe we'll see that as well.
Well, you're a better expert than me on this, Laxi. See what happens if the game ties up. If we end on the same points at the end of 70 minutes, what exactly happens? We're not too sure in the com box as well, so it will be interesting if that happens. And what a start to the season that would be if we start off with a drawn game.
Exactly, that would be a great start for the whole tournament. And the fact that we do get a drawn game in the pre-quarterfinal stage, because most of the time in these stages, we see one team clearly dominating, but that's at the end of the season after the league. Now last year during that semi-final, Isipathana and St. Thomas's, it was a tight game, and I think we went into sudden death, and Shahid Sumri scored a try for Isipathana to get the win. We'll come back to that while Virakon is getting stretched off. Sadisha Virakon, hope Sadisha is all okay and he can recover quickly. And in the other semi-final last year, Abid, Wesley had a golden opportunity to make it a drawn game, a tied game against St. Peter's. It was 23-20. They had a straightforward opportunity to go for the 3 points, but instead of that, they decided to go for the try.
Well, interesting stuff. But the way the game is poised now, I'm pretty sure we're going into a similar ending. But we'll see with 2 points between these two teams. 10 minutes to go. With Dharmaraja losing their captain and their vice-captain to injuries. Both Damsit Ratnaik and Sadisha Virakon are on the bench. Sadisha Virakon has been stretchered off. And changes coming in for D.S Senanayake. There was a lot of time for that change to be made when the player was down, but nonetheless the coaching staff decides that they want to make the change now. Dharmaraja winning it off the line out.
Dharmaraja, around 8.5 minutes remaining. Now it's a foot race and a mistake from Rupa Singh, Samara Singh rather. And Dharmaraja, they had the chance to get the ball back, but sloppy from both the teams, and D.S Senanayake, they end up with the ball.
Well, it's cynical, isn't it, waiting for the ball to bounce. But with us coming into the last couple of minutes of this game, slowly but surely the tension in the crowd is rising, the tension and the pressure on the players are mounting as well. As Pereira puts it into touch and gives his team a line out on the 22. quite a few former schoolboys sitting there in the pavilion. Don't want to embarrass them by naming them, but if you can spot a few captains from previous years sitting there as well. But the game on our hand is our focus, as Lakmal will throw it into a line out for D.S Senanayake on their 22.
Now D.S Senanayake, can they put this game away with a try here? D.S Senanayake, the forwards showcasing some good energy even at the 63rd minute. This is good, this is brilliant from the D.S Senanayake line. Yes, Samara Singh, the good run inside the 22 now. D.S Senanayake, as Vikram Singh now going from right to left, goes for the long cutout pass. ThePapare this time gets it right. This is Praveen Lakmal gives the ball out to De Silva. D.S Senanayake, the last few phases have been really good for them. Here's Mindinu trying to get that steal. Oh, this is brilliant from the big prop forward, and he goes over for the Amana Bank try. Lankesh Wickramasinghe, the skipper, probably the try that decides the fate of the game. Mabid, brilliant. The continuity of play in the last few phases of D.S Senanayake has been absolutely phenomenal.
Well, they kept on swinging the ball from side to side, and finally they get through the defense, and the deadlock is finally broken. The captain gets over for a try. Lankesh Wickramasinghe goes over for an Amana Bank try. The switch of putting the scrum half who started the game, Chamit Samarasinghe, to fullback and bringing in another scrum half to replace him has really opened a lot of gaps for D.S Senanayake. Have a look at that try again. As off your screen, the conversion goes through as well. So now it's a 9-point game. D.S Senanayake leading by 9 points. Now Dharmaraja need to hit back, and they need to hit back fast if they are to get back into this game.
Yeah, exactly, Abid. They need to go bang here as soon as possible. Unfortunately, this is a race against time for them. Can they win that race against time, Dharmaraja, or will D.S Senanayake hold on to this lead and qualify for that quarter-final stage of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025? Oh, good tackle there. Inserting some good pressure. Now D.S Senanayake, it's about making sure that they don't do any silly mistakes from here. Keep up the discipline that they have shown in the last few minutes, especially after that penalty try. D.S Senanayake, they have made very less mistakes. Now Dharmaraja from their own try line evades that first tackle. Now Dharmaraja. Oh, not good from the number 21. That was Tivanka Jayasundara losing the ball forward. Not what Dharmaraja needed going into the last 5 minutes of the game.
Well, unfortunate, isn't it? But now is where game management will come into play for DS. They need to keep possession. Or if they're not going to keep possession, kick the ball out into the deep and get themselves in the opposition half. And then start mounting the pressure and keeping them there. We'll see how it goes as Wickramasinghe feeds it into the scrum. Here's Pereira. Evades the first tackler and gets the offload away. Still on his feet is the scrum half turned fullback Samarasinghe. And they go and they'll knock the ball forward. For a second I thought they knocked the ball forward, but referee Fonseca says knock back. And now digging for it is Wickramasinghe. Hits his prop forward. Timat Bogahawat, he's been a ball carrier that has got a lot of headway for DS. Now the fly off shows dummies and goes over to score an Amana Bank try that will win them the game. Buddhi Karusiru. That was a moment of brilliance. He just showed the hand to the defender and went right through. He just says, speak to the hand and scores an Amana Bank try.
For all the fight that Dharmaraja College showed throughout this encounter, the defensive effort in that last try, it was certainly not up to the mark. It was a walk in the park for Buddhita. So we can say that D.S Senanayake College, they have booked their place in that quarter-final stage. Tatira Pereira trying to add the 2 points, trying to add the extras to increase their lead further. It doesn't go over. So Dharmaraja College and D.S Senanayake College clashing it out here. D.S Senanayake can say it's just a matter of time before they win this game, and they'll face the winners of the game between Royal College and Kingswood College. We're seeing Royal College in the knockouts after some time.
Well, that's what happens when you push the knockouts to the start of the season. You're definitely not going to miss any game time. But Dharmaraja, very unfortunate to find themselves in this position, because they were in the game for 60 minutes. And then in the last 10 minutes, they've really given it away. And I think that owes to the fact that they've lost a couple of their key players in their captain and their vice-captain.
I think until the Damsit, the skipper, was out there and he was calling the shots, I think Dharmaraja College had the say in this game, and that was not a good kick. You can't afford to do that. Gives the overflow out. Very, very lucky Dharmaraja there to not concede a try straight away. What is that big man wearing the number 19 jersey? Chamika Gimhana. Spotted the gap of the number 24. Evading that first tackler. Unable to do the same against the second one. Dharmaraja probably trying for a consolation try here. D.S Senanayake still up to the mark, still defending their hearts out.
Okay, that's an interesting call, because I thought the referee said the ball was out, but he says that he needs to come through the gate. A bit unclear for me on that occasion, but nonetheless, Dharmaraja have the penalty and he'll have a word with his assistant.
And Abid, we need to decide on a player of the match as well. I think for D.S Senanayake College, Timat Boghavat had a really great game. Demika Mindinu had a brilliant game as well. So I think the call should be made between those two, and I think Chamit Samarsingh from halfback to fullback, he changed his positions and that completely shifted things around. So and Praveen Lakmal as well, the number 8. So 4 options for us. Abid, I'm passing it over to you to make that final call.
Well, out of those 4 nominations rather, 3 of them are forwards. So the DS forwards have had a really good day today, or a day that they will be proud of, but they'll know that they can improve on. But I think for his gutsy effort and for the fact that he had to go back into the blood bin and wanted to come back into the game, the Papare player of the match is Demika Mindinu. That man was all over the park, and each time he got the ball, he always got D.S Senanayake on the front foot, piercing the first line of defense. So Demika Mindinu wins the Papare player of the match. And now DS have the ball back. Now that man with the ball in hand, Praveen Lakmal, has been all over the place. But if there was any reason why he doesn't win the player of the match, is because of the fact that he was yellow carded. But they're still continuing to play here. And that's knocked forward charge down and it will be another penalty and probably another card. It's been a game that has had so many cards, hasn't it? I'm losing track of how many cards. We're trying to count the number of cards. I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5 cards, 2 apiece. And if this card is shown, it will be another. Yes, it's going to be shown. So 5 cards in this game, Laksisi. So discipline is something that the teams would want to work on and the coaches would want to drill in their teams.
Exactly. Dharmaraja College getting shown 3 yellow cards. So they will have a long break now until the league, Dharmaraja College. So a lot for them to work on with. And for D.S Senanayake College, they will face a much stiffer challenge coming up next week. We don't know whether it's Royal or Kingswood, but it will definitely be a much stiffer challenge at the quarterfinal stage. The stakes are higher, so they need to make sure that they work on the discipline fact a lot.
And Pereira takes it forward. It looked like for a second he was trying to tap it and thump it into touch, but they still want to score more tries. And why not when they have been scoring at a rate in the last 10 minutes? Bogahawatta takes it forward, trying to win the ball off the base. Dharmaraja forwards, but DS will rumble through Lakmal. Now they take it out. Bandara shows, gives the offload into his flanker, who is running in on the angle. Now they pick and go again through Pereira. Now Incher's shot. Methila Piris, the vice captain, gives it to our player of the match, Demika Mindinu. Now Piris again will pick and go. The Incher's shot and the scrum half drops it for the prop forward to put the cherry on top of the cake. And that's the try for D.S Senanayake that seals the deal.
And I think that's the hat-trick for Dimat Bogahawatta. The tight head prop for D.S Senanayake College.
Well, a mistake on our part to say that it's Praveen Lakmal, but it's Timat Bogahawatta who goes over for the try. And the DS flags will start waving and will be held aloft as their team will go into the quarterfinals.
A game that looked like we might see a very close finish. Really didn't live up to that expectation, Abid, unfortunately. But we did see some good action. The first 50 minutes was back and forth. And unfortunately, they won't get to that half century. DS Senanayake, they will stop at 48. So 48 points to 29. DS Senanayake beating Dharmaraja College once again this year to begin their year. And they will qualify for the quarterfinals of the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025.
Well, unfortunate for Dharmaraja. Congratulations to DS Senanayake, who will make their way into the quarterfinals of the Knockout Rugby Championship. And for Dharmaraja, there's something that I would like to maybe put on air and maybe get into the head of the coaches that maybe lose the pre-quarterfinals is maybe play a few unofficial games amongst themselves and get their players match fit. Because it's going to be, like we mentioned before, it's going to be 5 weeks of no match time, no game time, which could probably come back to hurt these teams that are knocked out early on from the pre-quarterfinals and the quarterfinals. So maybe the teams and their coaches could maybe organize a couple of matches for the teams that are knocked out, but for the team that goes ahead, they'll have a game next weekend.
That's the full-time score confirmation. DS Senanayake 48, Dharmaraja 29. DS Senanayake, they have advanced to the quarterfinals. And as you mentioned, Abid, after this break, they have to play 9 games. Wherever the place that they finish in their group, they have to play 9 games because this year there are 3 segments even after the first round, cup, plate and ball. So they have to play 9 games. So it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a very long season. So Dharmaraja College, they have a lot to work on before they come into that league stage.
But you have to give it to Dharmaraja. They were right in this game right until maybe the 60th minute. And after losing a few key players to injury, they caught themselves napping and and gifted their opposition 3 tries. That's how they started. They started off with a try early on through Saparamadu. This was the first try for D.S Senanayake. They scored through their win 3-quarter, Kinit Disanayake. This was that second try from Saparamadu, who's had a very good first half but had a very quiet second half. Maybe if he had sparked something for Dharmaraja, they would have had more to show on the score sheet. And this is when the D.S Senanayake forwards really started to get in the game. And I think it was a very forward-heavy game from D.S Senanayake. Yes, their backs did score a couple of tries, but the forwards really did stamp their class. And in the second half, it was an early try for Saparamadu, was it? Or it was not a try for Saparamadu, but it was a try for the captain. A very well-deserved try, but as soon as he scored that try, things really started to change for Dharmaraja. And then the game just started to be on this part of the field. And there you go, that's the forwards starting to work. That was a try from Boga Hawatta. And then I think it was this kickoff that really started to change things for them, isn't it, Laksisi?
Exactly, Abid. Damsit had a great first 40 minutes, this keeper of Dharmaraja. But as soon as he started to lose his colour in this game, things started to go south for Dharmaraja College, and D.S Senanayake came into this game very strongly, and they didn't look back after that. And it was a very dominant performance after that as they scored 3 unanswered tries from the point that they had the lead 31 points to 29.
But in the second half, we really did come to see the DS team that we know, isn't it? A team that's known for playing the game at pace. And they're lucky to find themselves on the winning side. And it's just the first game of the season. And you can't really say anything much to these boys because it's probably the first time they are playing in this atmosphere, most of them. And that's something that you really need to account for. But the news from CRNFC is that D.S Senanayake have booked their place in the quarter-final of the Knockout Championship. 48 points to 29. They beat Dharmaraja College. It looks like a huge win on paper, but in reality it was quite a close game until maybe the 60th minute, where DS just ran away with 3 tries. 8 tries to D.S Senanayake against the 5 tries of Dharmaraja. But something that the teams would want to take into account going into next week is maybe start taking 3 points and getting themselves ahead. Yes, D.S Senanayake win this game, but putting that scoreboard pressure is absolutely important. Demika Mindinu is our player of the match.
You mentioned about the 3-pointers again, Abid. Before we come back to that, coming up in the Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025 tomorrow, we have a couple of Premier Trophy encounters coming your way. St. Aloysius and Richmond taking on against each other at Havelock Park, and then St. Sylvester's versus Carey at Royal Complex, and then we have Sahira taking on with Dart tomorrow as well at Havelock Park. And Isipadana, the defending champions, they take the field against Sri Sumangala College at Royal Complex. That's also tomorrow. And coming up tomorrow, Science College taking on St. Thomas's College at CRNFC. And we also have Trinity taking on St. Anthony's College tomorrow. That will be a game which will be played under lights at CRNFC. That will begin at 6 p.m. And then on the 27th, on Sunday, we have St. Peter's taking on Thurston at Royal Complex. And then we have Royal College taking on Kingswood College at CRNFC. So those are the remaining 8 games from the first week of action, the Dialog Schools Rugby season for the year 2025. So that's it from the CRNFC grounds. D.S Senanayake College advancing through to the quarter-final stage, beating Dharmaraja College 48 points to 29. An entertaining game where the Dons had the last laugh in the final quarter, we can say, of the game. So thank you very much everyone for joining with us in this day 1 action. We have a lot of action coming your way in the upcoming weeks. We still have some big matches coming your way in the next few weeks, and also don't forget to catch the live action of the Women's ODI Tri-Series between Sri Lanka, India and South Africa, which will begin on Sunday. So once again everyone, thank you very much for joining with us. I'm Laksi De Silva signing off alongside Abid Jamil and the rest of the Papare technical and production crew. Have a very good night.
stand by for opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll out.
It's been the Sri Lanka Yankee cricket නාලිකාව ThePapare සමග.
Welcome back to the Papare.
Welcome to the live broadcast on ThePapare.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
ThePapare, Sri Lanka's #1 television sports channel.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex, get, spray, go.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.